по принципу 1000 на 1000. И
Germany police have arrested a woman after at least 12 people were injured in a knife attack at the main station in the northern city of Hamburg. Some of the injured sustained life-threatening injuries in the stabbing, although the exact number remained unclear. The suspect, police subsequently said, was a 39-year-old woman who was thought to have acted alone. The police has reported that investigations into the incident are running at full speed. However, the officials have not given an indication of a possible motive. According to the German media, the attack took place around 6 p.m. in the middle of rush hour at the end of working week. The suspect was thought to have carried out the attack against passengers at the station. Images of the scene showed access to the platforms at the end of the station blocked off by police and people being loaded into waiting ambulances. Some of the victims in the attack were being treated on board waiting trains in the station. Bild reported Germany has been rocked in recent months by a series of violent attacks with often jihadist or far-right extremist motivations that have put security at the top of this agenda. The most recent on Sunday saw 4 people were injured in a stabbing at a bar in the city of Bielefeld. Considering these events, the question of security and the immigrant origin of many of the attackers was a major topic during Germany's recent election campaign. Now we move to Middle Asia. In the latest turn of events in India-Pakistan conflict, India has accused Pakistan of sponsoring decades of terror attacks, including the 2008 Mumbai attacks and the recent massacre of tourists in Pahalgam. During a strong statement delivered at the United Nations Security Council, speaking at an open debate on the protection of civilians in armed conflict, India's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Parvatanen Harish, slammed Pakistan for making baseless allegations and pointed to a long history of cross-border terrorism backed by Islamabad. He stated that the primary targets of Pak-sponsored attacks have been civilians, with the clear intent of undermining India's progress, prosperity, and morale. The envoy asserted that Pakistan's participation in a discussion on civilian protection is a direct affront to the international community, given its record of supporting terror groups that target non-combatants. The comments come in the wake of heightened tensions between the two nations after the Pahalgam terror attack, which claimed 26 lives. India responded by conducting precise airstrikes on terror infrastructure located in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir on May 7th. In retaliation, Pakistan launched attempts to target Indian military installations on May 8, 9, and 10th. Indian forces responded firmly to these attempts. The escalation on the ground came to a halt after both sides reached an understanding on May 10th, following talks between their military commanders. Now we move on to South America. Leading Venezuelan opposition politician Juan Pablo Guanipa is arrested on charges of conspiring to sabotage upcoming parliamentary and regional elections that the opposition has promised to boycott. Guanipa, a 60-year-old former member of parliament and ally of opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, is detained amid rising tensions before Sunday's election. Guanipa went into hiding after the July 2024 presidential vote, which the opposition and much of the international community say was won by opposition candidate Edmundo González Urrutia. 70 people, including nationals of Ecuador, Argentina, Germany, Serbia, and Pakistan, have been detained over an alleged plot to target Sunday's elections. The suspects allegedly planned to plant bombs in hospitals, metro stations, police stations, and power plants. Authorities say they seized explosives, weapons, detonators, and cash. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio condemns the arrests, calling them unjustified and a new wave of repression by the Maduro regime. Guanipa posts on social media that he has been kidnapped by Maduro's forces and says he is unsure what will happen to him, but believes the fight against the dictatorship will win. Let's listen into Guanipa.
Queridos hermanos, si están viendo este video es porque he sido detenido, secuestrado por la dictadura de Nicolás Maduro. Esta es una lucha que ha sido difícil, compleja, porque nos estamos enfrentando a un régimen autoritario que ha decidido mantenerse en el poder a pesar de la impresionante manifestación de voluntad popular que dio el pueblo venezolano el día 28 de julio. ¡Qué grande es el pueblo venezolano!
Now we move on to Africa. In northeastern Nigeria, a jihadist attack has left at least 9 civilians dead in Borno State. Boko Haram militants ambushed the village of Gajibo Thursday evening, opening fire on residents and engaging with anti-jihadist militia fighters. The shootout also led to the deaths of 2 militia members. Several others were injured in the assault. Nigerian troops from nearby Dikwa town responded quickly, pushing the militants out of the village. In the aftermath, the jihadists lost 10 men. The attack comes amid a recent surge in violence by Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province, which have intensified their raids across Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states. This violence has claimed over 40,000 lives and displaced millions, with the conflict spilling into neighborhood countries. 8 people have been found guilty after U.S. reality TV star Kim Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint of millions of dollars worth of jewelry in Paris nearly a decade ago. The 4 who took part in the heist were given sentences of up to 8 years, mostly suspended, and they will not return to prison because of time served. 2 people have been acquitted as well. 9 men and 1 woman were accused of carrying out or aiding the armed burglary of 10 million worth of jewelry, including a diamond engagement ring during Paris Fashion Week in 2016. Kardashian's lawyer said in a statement she looks forward to putting this tragic episode behind her. Let's listen in.
A été informée de la décision. Elle est satisfaite. Justice a été rendue et c'était là son seul souhait, que justice soit rendue. C'est maintenant chose faite. Elle va pouvoir passer à autre chose. Je vous remercie.
On the night between 3rd and 4th October 2016, as Kardashian was in her room at the Hotel de Portales in central Paris, a gang of men made their way into the building. DNA evidence for Omar 8 Khaidaji, 69, and Yunis Abbas, 71, placed them at the scene of the crime, and the 2 have admitted their involvement. Khaidaji, who is now disabled, deaf, and mute, was sentenced to 8 years in prison on Friday, 5 of which were suspended. Due to time already served, he will not return to prison, like all the others convicted. With most of those convicted now in their 60s and 70s, the group has been dubbed as grandpa robbers by French media. But since the beginning of the trial in April, both prosecutors and civil parties have vigorously pushed back against notions the robbers were harmless. Prosecutor General Anne-Dominique Merville had urged the jury not to be swayed by their age and health conditions, describing the defendants as seasoned robbers when they carried out the heist.